The punch came fast, too fast for most people to see. Derek Razor Kane's fist connected with Maya Torres's jaw, snapping her head sideways. Blood sprayed across the Nevada dust. 20 witnesses gasped. Razor grinned, towering over the young woman crumpled at his feet. "Weak little girl," he snarled, reaching down to grab her throat. "Should have stayed in the kitchen where you—" He never finished the sentence. 3 seconds later, Razor was face down in the dirt. His arm twisted at an impossible angle. His wrist shattered, and Maya's knee pressed into his spine. Her voice came out cold, dead calm. "Move, and I break your neck." Before we dive into what happened next, hit that subscribe button and stay with us until the end of this story. You won't believe where this goes. Drop a comment telling us what city you're watching from, so we can see how far Maya's story travels. Now, let's go back to where this all started. 48 hours earlier, Maya Torres was doing what she did every Wednesday morning, cleaning rifle barrels at Desert Wind Tactical, the shooting range she managed on the outskirts of Henderson, Nevada. The sun hadn't fully risen yet, and she preferred it that way. Quiet, controlled, predictable. "Maya, you got a minute?" She looked up from the Barrett 50 cal she'd been maintaining. Tom Bridger stood in the doorway, the local sheriff, 62 years old, with the kind of weathered face that came from 3 decades of desert sun and harder decisions. "What's up, Tom?" He shifted his weight, uncomfortable. "Got a call from the mayor's office. Corporate retreat happening Friday. Some tech company from San Francisco. They want to rent the whole range for team-building exercises." "That's fine. I've done corporate events before." "Yeah, well," Tom scratched his jaw. "There's complications. Derek Kane and his crew have been making noise about showing up. Says a woman running a tactical range is an insult to real shooters. Says he wants to prove a point." Maya's hands never stopped moving, reassembling the rifle with practiced precision. "Razor's all talk, Tom. He comes around drunk every few weeks, makes a scene, you escort him off. Same dance." "This feels different." Tom's eyes went serious. "He's been recruiting. Got maybe 15 guys now, all with the same patch on their vests. Some kind of motorcycle club bullshit. They're calling themselves the Iron Brotherhood. And Maya, 3 of them have felony assault charges. 2 did time for attempted murder." Maya clicked the bolt into place. "You saying I should cancel the corporate event? I'm saying maybe I should have deputies here." "No." Maya stood setting the rifle down carefully. "You put cops on my range, it sends a message that I can't handle my own business. This is my place, Tom. I built it from nothing. I'm not letting some wannabe tough guys take that from me." Tom sighed. "You're stubborn as hell, you know that. It's kept me alive this long." What Tom didn't know, what nobody in Henderson knew, was that Maya Torres wasn't just a 23-year-old shooting range owner. 5 years ago, she'd been the youngest female to complete Navy SEAL training. 4 years ago, she'd made a shot in Syria that saved 12 hostages and ended her military career in the same moment. 3 years ago, she'd buried her best friend Katie and sworn she'd never touch a weapon again. But life had other plans. Friday arrived like a storm nobody wanted to acknowledge. The tech company, some startup called Nexus Digital, showed up at 8 in the morning with 40 employees wearing matching polo shirts and nervous expressions. Their team leader, a woman named Jennifer Marks, approached Maya with an anxious smile. "Hi, you must be Maya. We're so excited for today. Most of our team has never even held a gun before." "That's fine. We'll start with safety basics, move to stationary targets, then some scenario training if everyone's comfortable." Maya handed her a clipboard. "I need liability waivers from everyone. No exceptions." "Of course, absolutely." Jennifer lowered her voice. "Is it true what they're saying in town, that there might be trouble today?" Maya's expression didn't change. There won't be any trouble. But I heard, there won't be any trouble, Maya repeated, and something in her tone made Jennifer stop asking questions. The morning went smoothly. Maya ran them through weapon safety stance breathing trigger control. She moved between shooters with quiet efficiency, correcting grips, adjusting positions, offering encouragement. This was what she'd built after leaving the Navy, a place where people could learn to protect themselves without the weight of war hanging over everything. "You're really good at this," one of the tech workers said, a young guy maybe 25 with thick glasses and shaky hands. "I was so nervous, but you make it feel safe." "That's the point," Maya said. "Weapons aren't toys, but they're not magic either. Just tools. Respect them, understand them, and they'll do exactly what you ask." By noon, the Nexus Digital team was actually having fun. Laughter echoed across the range. People were hitting targets, taking selfies, talking about coming back. Jennifer pulled Maya aside. "This has been amazing. Honestly, I was worried it would be too intense, but you've made it—" The sound of motorcycles cut through her words. 15 bikes roared into the parking lot, engines deliberately loud, kicking up dust clouds that rolled across the range. The tech workers stopped shooting, turning to stare. Maya felt her jaw tighten. "Jennifer, take your team inside the main building, now!" "But we paid for the full day." "Now!" Something in Maya's voice made Jennifer obey. Within 90 seconds, all 40 Nexus Digital employees were inside, faces pressed against Windows phones, out recording. Maya walked toward the parking lot alone. Razor was already off his bike, flanked by his crew. He was 6'4", 250 pounds of muscle, and bad decisions with a shaved head, and a scar running down his left cheek. His vest had a patch that read, "President," above the Iron Brotherhood logo. "Well, well," Razor said, voice dripping with mock surprise. "Look at this, boys. The little girl's all by herself." His crew laughed on cue. Maya counted 15 men ranging in age from mid-20s to late 50s. Half of them were drunk already. She could smell the whiskey from 10 feet away. 3 had visible weapons tucked into their belts. 2 were recording on their phones. "Range is closed," Maya said, voice level. "You need to leave." "Range is closed." Razor took a step forward. "That's funny. I don't see a closed sign. I see a bunch of tech nerds playing soldier, and I see a weak little girl pretending to be in charge. Last warning, Razor. Get on your bikes and leave. Or what?" He spread his arms wide, playing to his audience. "You gonna call Sheriff Bridger gonna hide behind a man because you can't handle your own business?" Maya's hands stayed relaxed at her sides. "I don't need to call anyone." "That's right, you don't." Razor's grin widened. "Because you're gonna do what women are supposed to do, step aside, shut up, and let real men handle real things." One of his crew members, a stocky guy with a red beard, chimed in. "Maybe we should teach her some manners, Razor. Show her what happens when girls try to play in the men's world." The others laughed harder. Someone shouted, "Strip the range license, women can't handle weapons." Maya felt the familiar cold settling into her chest. The same ice that used to come before missions, before impossible shots, before moments where hesitation meant death. She pushed it down. Not here, not now. That part of her life was over. "I'm asking you one more time," Maya said quietly. "Leave." Razor's expression changed. The mockery drained away, replaced by something uglier. "You know what your problem is. You don't know your place. Someone needs to teach you." He moved fast, faster than Maya expected for a man his size. His hand shot out, fingers closing around her throat, lifting her off the ground. Maya's boots left the dirt. She heard screams from inside the building, heard Razor's crew cheering. "This is your place," Razor snarled, bringing his face close to hers. "On your back, choking, learning to respect your betters." For 3 seconds, Maya let him hold her there. Let him think he'd won. Let his guard drop just enough. Then, muscle memory took over. Her right hand came up, trapped. His thumb bent it backward with surgical precision. Razor's grip released involuntarily. Maya dropped, landed on her feet, rotated her hips, and drove her left elbow into his solar plexus with every ounce of force her compact frame could generate. Air exploded from Razor's lungs. Before he could process what happened, Maya grabbed his extended arm, stepped under it, and executed a textbook shoulder throw. 250 pounds of motorcycle gang leader hit the desert floor hard enough to crack ribs. Maya followed him down, trapped his arm in a joint lock, and applied pressure. The snap of his wrist breaking echoed across the range. Razor screamed. 3.2 seconds. That's how long the entire encounter lasted. Maya rose to her feet, breathing steady, and looked at the 14 remaining crew members. Anyone else? For a moment, nobody moved. Then Redbeard reached for the pistol in his belt. Don't, Maya said. He drew anyway. Maya's hand moved to her concealed carry holster, a Sig Sauer P320 she'd sworn she'd never use outside the range. Her draw was smooth, practiced automatic. She fired 3 times before Redbeard's weapon cleared leather. 3 rounds. 2-inch grouping. Through his shooting hand at 15 yards. Redbeard dropped his weapon screaming, clutching his destroyed hand. Blood poured between his fingers. The other crew members froze hands, moving away from their own weapons, eyes wide with sudden understanding. Maya's voice came out flat, emotionless. Weapons on the ground. Now, or the next grouping goes center mass. Pistols, knives, even a small revolver hardware hit the dirt. Maya kept her weapon trained on the group, her stance perfect, her breathing controlled. This was the part of herself she'd tried to bury. The operator. The sniper. The woman who'd made impossible shots in impossible situations and watched friends die because of split-second decisions. On your knees, Maya said. Hands behind your heads. Interlock your fingers. They obeyed. All except Razor, who was still on the ground cradling his shattered wrist, face contorted with pain and rage. You're dead, he gasped. You hear me? You're fucking dead. You're going to shut up and wait for the sheriff, Maya interrupted. Unless you want me to break your other wrist. Razor's mouth snapped shut. The sound of sirens grew in the distance. Someone inside the building had called 911. Maya didn't lower her weapon. She counted seconds in her head, a habit from her SEAL days. 18 seconds since Redbeard drew. 45 seconds since Razor grabbed her throat. Entire lifetimes compressed into moments. Sheriff Tom Bridger's cruiser skidded into the parking lot, followed by 2 more patrol cars. Tom jumped out, weapon drawn, took in the scene. Razor on the ground. Redbeard bleeding 13 men on their knees, Maya standing with her pistol trained on all of them. Maya, what the hell happened? Self-defense, Maya said calmly. Razor assaulted me. Redbeard drew a weapon. I responded with appropriate force. Tom's eyes went to the blood in the dirt, the scattered weapons, Razor's bent wrist. Appropriate force, Jesus Christ, Maya! You see those 40 witnesses in the building? Maya gestured toward Nexus Digital employees filming through windows. They'll confirm everything I just said. Tom holstered his weapon, signaling his deputies to take over. They moved in with handcuffs, zip ties, reading rights. Redbeard was loaded into an ambulance, still screaming. Razor was cuffed, despite his broken wrist vomiting from pain. Tom approached Maya slowly, like she might be a bomb that hadn't finished exploding. Maya, I need you to put the weapon down. She looked at him for a long moment, then carefully engaged the safety and set her Sig Sauer on the ground. Evidence. I want it logged properly. Of course. Tom picked it up, examined it. 3 shots all in the same hand. That's... He paused. That's not normal shooting, Maya. That's professional-level marksmanship. Maya said nothing. I've been a cop for 30 years, Tom continued quietly. I've worked with military, FBI, Secret Service. I know what high-level training looks like. He looked at the grouping again, 3 rounds clustered so tight they'd almost overlapped. SEAL Team 3 used to train at a range near Creech Air Force Base. I saw their sniper qualifications once. They shot patterns just like this. Maya's expression didn't change, but something flickered in her eyes. You want to tell me something? Tom asked. Nothing to tell. I run a shooting range. I practice. Nobody practices this good by accident. Tom, SEAL Team 3, right? He said it soft enough that only Maya could hear. That's where you learn to shoot like that. That's why a 23-year-old girl can disarm a man twice her size and put 3 rounds in a moving target faster than most cops can draw. Maya's jaw tightened. Leave it alone, Tom. Your secret's safe with me, Tom said. But Maya, this doesn't stay quiet. 40 people just filmed you breaking a man's wrist and shooting another one. By tonight, everyone in Henderson will know you're not just a range owner. And Razor's crew, they've got friends, connections, people who won't take this lying down. I don't care. You should. Tom's voice went hard. Because men like Razor don't forgive humiliation. And they sure as hell don't forget. Deputies hauled the Iron Brotherhood members into patrol cars. Razor, before they shoved him into the back seat, locked eyes with Maya. His expression promised murder. This isn't over, he called out. You just signed your death warrant, little girl. Maya held his gaze until the car door slammed shut. By 2 in the afternoon, Maya had given her statement 3 times, walked Jennifer Marks and the Nexus Digital team through what happened, and assured everyone that they'd receive full refunds despite the events. The tech workers left shaken, but grateful, several of them giving Maya awkward hugs. You saved us, Jennifer said. If you hadn't been here, if you hadn't known what to do, it's fine. Just get your team home safe. After everyone left, Maya locked up the range and walked to her apartment, a small 1-bedroom place above the gun shop next door. She climbed the stairs slowly, exhausted in a way that had nothing to do with physical exertion. Her hands were steady. Her breathing was controlled. But inside, something was screaming. She'd promised herself. No more violence. No more operators. No more becoming the weapon she'd been trained to be. And in 3 seconds, she'd broken that promise. Maya sat on her bed, staring at her hands, the same hands that had thrown Razor, broken his wrist, drawn, and fired with mechanical precision. Muscle memory. That's what the instructors called it during Bud's training. Your body remembers what your mind tries to forget. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. Then curiosity won. Hello, Maya Torres, a woman's voice, professional with a slight East Coast accent. Who's asking? My name is Captain Sarah Hayes. I served as your commanding officer during your time with SEAL Team 3. I heard about the incident this morning. Are you injured? Maya's blood went cold. How did you get this number? I make it my business to keep track of my people even after they separate from service, especially the exceptional ones. A pause. You were the best sniper I ever trained, Maya. Youngest to qualify, fastest to deploy, highest accuracy rating in Team 3 history. And then Syria happened, and we lost you. I'm not having this conversation. Fair enough. But you need to know something. Derek Kane, the man you put down today, he's not just a motorcycle gang leader. He's connected to weapons trafficking. Military-grade hardware disappearing from Creech Air Force Base. We've been investigating for 9 months with no breaks. Until you. Maya's throat went tight. I didn't. You put him in custody. You created an opening. And Maya, We think there's someone inside Creech helping him, someone with access, someone who knows how to move weapons without triggering inventory flags. Captain Hayes' voice softened. I know you left the Navy to get away from this life. I respect that. But this is happening in your backyard, and you're already involved whether you want to be or not. Kane's crew won't forget what you did. They'll come for you. The question is whether you face them alone or whether you let us help. I don't need help. Katie would have said the same thing. The name hit like a gut punch. She always thought she could handle everything alone, right up until the moment she couldn't. Maya's vision blurred. Don't you dare! I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to keep you alive. And maybe, just maybe, give you a chance to stop weapons from ending up in the hands of people who'll use them to kill innocent civilians. Katie died protecting people. Don't let her sacrifice be the last good thing that came from SEAL Team 3. Silence stretched between them. I need time, Maya finally said. You don't have time. Kane makes bail in 72 hours. His crew is already regrouping. And Maya, someone burned down 3 buildings in Henderson last year when they got crossed by the Iron Brotherhood. They don't play games, they don't show mercy, and they really don't like being embarrassed by women. 72 hours, Maya repeated. Call me before then. Or don't. But either way, watch your back. Captain Hayes hung up. Maya sat in the gathering darkness, phone still pressed to her ear, listening to dead air. Through her window, she could see Desert Wind Tactical, the range she'd built, the business she'd created, the life she'd constructed to replace the one she'd lost. And she knew with absolute certainty that it was all about to come crashing down. At midnight, Maya's apartment caught fire. She woke to smoke and heat combat instincts overriding confusion. She rolled off the bed, stayed low, moved to the window. Flames were crawling up the exterior wall, fed by accelerant gasoline from the smell. Professional job. Fast burning. Meant to kill. Maya grabbed her go-bag, a habit she'd never broken from her SEAL days, and kicked out the window screen. Second floor drop, maybe 12 feet. She jumped, rolled on impact, came up running. Behind her, the apartment building was fully engulfed. 3 motorcycles idled at the end of the block. Watching. Waiting. Maya recognized one of the riders, a bald man with a neck tattoo, one of Razor's crew who hadn't been arrested. He raised a phone to his ear, clearly reporting. Then all 3 bikes roared to life and disappeared into the night. Fire trucks arrived within minutes. By then, Maya was 2 blocks away, standing in an alley watching smoke rise against the stars. Everything she owned was burning. Her clothes, her furniture, the photos of Katie she'd kept hidden in a drawer. The message was clear. We know where you live. We know how to hurt you. And this is just the beginning. Sheriff Tom Bridger found her 20 minutes later, spotted her thermal signature with his cruiser's camera. He pulled into the alley, got out slowly. Maya? Jesus Christ. Are you hurt? No. Your apartment? I know. Tom ran a hand over his face. Fire marshal says it's arson. Accelerant on multiple sides timed to trap whoever was inside. Professional work. He looked at her hard. This is Razor's crew. This is retaliation. I know. You can't stay in Henderson. It's not safe. I'm not leaving. Maya, listen to me. No, you listen. Maya turned to face him, and Tom actually stepped back from what he saw in her eyes. I built a life here. I walked away from war, from death, from everything I was trained to be. I opened a shooting range because I wanted to teach people to protect themselves instead of killing people for a living. And now you're telling me I should run, that I should let a bunch of drunk bikers burn down my home and chase me out of town. I'm telling you to survive, Tom said quietly. Whatever you were before, whatever training you have, it won't matter if they put a bullet in you while you sleep. These aren't soldiers, Maya. They don't play by rules. They don't have honor codes. They'll shoot you in the back and dump your body in the desert. Then I'll make sure they don't get the chance. How? By turning into a one-woman army. Tom shook his head. You can't win this fight alone. Who says I'm alone? Maya pulled out her phone, scrolled to the number Captain Hayes had called from, and hit dial. It rang twice before the familiar voice answered. Captain Hayes? It's Maya Torres. You were right. I'm already involved. She watched smoke rise from her destroyed apartment. And I'm not running. So if you want my help with your weapons investigation, you've got it. But I have one condition. Name it. When this is over, when we take down Kane, and whoever's helping him steal weapons, you make sure the Iron Brotherhood knows exactly who destroyed them. I want my name carved into their history. I want every wannabe tough guy in Nevada to know what happens when you come after Maya Torres. Captain Hayes was quiet for a moment. That's not tactical thinking, Maya. That's revenge. No. Maya's voice went ice cold. That's a deterrent. I'm building a life here, Captain, and I'm drawing a line in the sand. Anyone who crosses it doesn't get to walk away. Another pause. Then, I'll send a team to pick you up. 2 hours. Don't go anywhere public. Understood. Maya hung up and looked at Tom. You should forget you saw me tonight. Maya, I mean it, Tom. What happens next? It's better if you don't know. Better if nobody knows until it's over. Tom studied her face, seeing something there that hadn't been visible before. Something hard. Something dangerous. You're not just a range owner, are you? You're something else entirely. I was, Maya said softly. I tried not to be anymore, but they didn't give me a choice. She walked past him, disappearing into the shadows like she'd been trained to do. Tom watched her go, feeling like he'd just seen someone step across a line they could never uncross. And he was right. The black SUV arrived exactly 2 hours later, no headlights, engine barely audible. Maya was waiting in the parking lot of a closed gas station 3 miles from her burned apartment. She'd changed into dark clothing from her go bag, pulled her hair back tight. The passenger window rolled down. Maya Torres. The driver was mid-30s buzz cut, the kind of face that forgot how to smile years ago. Depends who's asking. Lieutenant Commander Jake Morrison, SEAL Team 5. Captain Hayes sent me. He nodded toward the back seat. Get in. We don't have much time. Maya climbed in. The SUV was already moving before she closed the door. Another operator sat in back with her, a woman late 20s laptop, open fingers flying across keys. Petty Officer First Class Aisha Carter, the woman said without looking up. Intel Specialist. I've been tracking the Iron Brotherhood's communications since your apartment burned. They're planning something big. How big? The kind that gets people killed. Aisha finally looked at Maya, and her expression was grim. They put a $50,000 bounty on you. Open contract. Every gang affiliate, every wannabe tough guy, every desperate criminal in Nevada just got your photo and last known location. Maya's stomach tightened. 50,000. You embarrassed their president in front of witnesses, broke his wrist, shot one of his crew, and got 14 of them arrested. Then you survived their retaliation fire. In their world, that makes you either incredibly lucky or incredibly dangerous. Either way, you're a problem that needs solving. Jake glanced at her in the rearview mirror. Captain Hayes is setting up a safe house. Military-grade security off all grids. You'll stay there while we plan the operation. What operation? The one where we use you as bait. The words hung in the air. Maya processed them, feeling the familiar cold settling in the operator mindset, the tactical brain that had kept her alive in Syria. Explain. Aisha closed her laptop. The Iron Brotherhood isn't just a motorcycle gang. They're the distribution network for stolen military weapons. Someone at Creech Air Force Base has been pulling hardware for 9 months, rifles, ammunition, body armor, even explosives. Street value around $12 million. Kane's crew moves it to buyers across 3 states. And you think if they come after me, you can follow them back to the source? Not just follow them, Jake said. Infiltrate them. You're the perfect entry point, Maya. They want you dead. We make them think they succeeded. Then you resurface, bitter and angry, looking for revenge against the military, against the people who trained you and then abandoned you when things got hard. Maya's jaw clenched. You want me undercover? We want you to do what you do best. Survive, adapt, and complete the mission. Captain Hayes says you were the most talented operator she ever trained. Time to prove it? The SUV turned onto a desert road, headlights finally clicking on. Empty landscape stretched in every direction. Maya watched it pass, thinking about Katie, about Syria, about the promise she'd made to herself 3 years ago. I'm not that person anymore, she said quietly. Yes, you are. Aisha's voice was gentle but firm. You just pretended you weren't. But tonight, when your apartment burned, when someone tried to kill you, what did you do? Did you call the police? Did you hide? No. You called Captain Hayes. You asked to be brought into the fight. That's not a civilian response, Maya. That's an operator. Jake pulled up to a concrete building that looked like an abandoned warehouse. We're here. Inside the warehouse had been converted into a tactical operations center. Computer stations lined one wall, weapons racks, another sleeping quarters in the back. Captain Sarah Hayes stood at a conference table covered in maps and photographs. She looked exactly as Maya remembered, 52 years old, iron gray hair, pulled back tight eyes that missed nothing. Maya, Captain Hayes crossed the room, pulled her into a brief hug. I'm sorry about your apartment, about all of this. You warned me. I did. But I didn't want to be right. Captain Hayes gestured to the table. Sit. We have a lot to cover and not much time. Maya sat. Jake and Aisha joined them. Captain Hayes spread out surveillance photos, Razor and his crew, the Iron Brotherhood clubhouse images of military weapons in various locations. Derek Kane makes bail in 68 hours, Captain Hayes began. The moment he's out, he'll mobilize everything he has to find you. But there's a complication. We intercepted communications from inside Creech Air Force Base. Someone knows we're investigating. They know Kane got arrested, and they're accelerating their timeline. Meaning what? Meaning they're planning to move their entire remaining weapons inventory in the next 72 hours. After that, they'll go dark, possibly forever. We lose our chance. Captain Hayes locked eyes with Maya. We need to identify the insider at Creech before that happens. And the only way to do that is from inside the Iron Brotherhood. Aisha pulled up a file on her laptop, turned it so Maya could see. Master Sergeant Victor Castellano, 20-year Air Force veteran inventory management specialist at Creech. His daughter, Emma, was diagnosed with stage 4 leukemia 18 months ago. Insurance denied coverage for the experimental treatment she needs. Cost $400,000. Maya stared at the photo, a tired-looking man in his mid-40s, wearing his dress uniform, trying to smile for the camera. You think he's stealing weapons to pay for his daughter's treatment? We think it's possible, Captain Hayes said. But we don't have proof. And without proof, we can't move on him. If we're wrong, we blow the investigation and the real insider disappears. If we're right, but can't prove it, a good man goes to prison while his daughter dies. That's not a good man, Maya said flatly. That's a criminal who's putting military weapons on the street where they'll kill innocent people. Is it? Captain Hayes leaned forward. What would you do, Maya, if someone you loved was dying, and the system failed you, and you had access to something valuable enough to save them? What would you do? Maya thought about Katie bleeding out in the Syrian desert, screaming for help that never came fast enough. I don't know. Exactly. None of us know until we're in that position, which is why we need to approach this carefully, Castellano might be our target, or he might be a victim. Either way, he's the key. Captain Hayes tapped the photo. The Iron Brotherhood has been pressuring him for months. We have recordings of Kane threatening him, mentioning his daughter by name. If you can get inside Kane's crew, get close enough to Castellano, you can find out the truth. And if he is guilty, then we arrest him, recover the weapons, and shut down the trafficking network. But Maya, if he's innocent, if he's being coerced, we need to know that too. Because a man doesn't betray 20 years of service without a damn good reason. Jake cleared his throat. There's one more complication. Kane's crew isn't working alone anymore. They've partnered with a Mexican cartel, Los Serpientes. Intelligence suggests the cartel is providing distribution networks in exchange for a cut of the profits. If this operation goes sideways, we're not just dealing with bikers. We're dealing with professional criminals who've killed federal agents before. Maya absorbed the information, her mind already running scenarios. What's the insertion plan? Staged death, Aisha said. We fake your murder, make it public. Make it brutal enough that Kane's crew believes it. Then you approach them 3 days later with a cover story you survived. You're pissed at the military for abandoning you, and you want revenge. You offer them your skills in exchange for protection and a cut of their operation. They'll never believe it. They will, Captain Hayes said, because it'll be true. You did serve. The military did fail Katie in Syria. You do have reasons to be angry. We're not asking you to lie, Maya. We're asking you to weaponize your pain. The words hit harder than Maya expected. She looked away, jaw tight. That's manipulative. It's effective. And it's the only play we have. Captain Hayes softened her tone. I know what I'm asking. I know what this will cost you emotionally. But 37 weapons are missing from Creech Maya. Assault rifles, explosives, equipment designed to kill efficiently. If those weapons hit the street, people die. Innocent people, maybe someone's daughter who has nothing to do with any of this. Maya closed her eyes, seeing Katie's face, hearing her last words. How do we stage my death? Car accident, Jake said. Remote desert road vehicle fire hot enough to destroy forensic evidence. We'll use a Jane Doe body from the county morgue, homeless woman. No family died of natural causes last week. DNA will be too degraded to identify, but the basic markers will match your profile well enough to fool anyone who isn't running federal-level analysis. Kane's crew won't run federal analysis, Aisha added. They'll see the news reports, see the burned vehicle, hear that Maya Torres died in a fiery crash while fleeing town. They'll celebrate. They'll let their guard down. And 3 days later, I show up alive. Angry, traumatized, looking for someone to blame, Captain Hayes said. You tell them you faked your death because the military was hunting you. You tell them Katie's death broke something inside you, that you've been barely holding it together, that watching your apartment burn was the final straw. You offer them everything you learned as a SEAL, tactics, weapons training, operational planning, in exchange for protection from federal authorities and a place where you can strike back at the system that destroyed you. Maya opened her eyes. You've thought this through. We've been planning it for 3 weeks. We just didn't have the right operator until you broke Kane's wrist and proved you could handle yourself. Captain Hayes slid a folder across the table. This is your legend, your cover identity, your backstory, every detail you need to sell the lie. Study it. Live it. Become it. Maya opened the folder. Inside were documents, photos, fabricated records. A history of mental health struggles after Syria. Dishonorable discharge rumors. Financial problems. A woman on the edge, barely holding on. This isn't me, Maya said. It could have been, Captain Hayes replied softly. If you'd made different choices after Katie died, if you'd let the anger consume you instead of channeling it into building something positive. This is the version of Maya Torres who gave up, and she's going to help us save lives. Jake stood. We stage the accident tomorrow night. That gives you 24 hours to memorize your legend and prepare mentally. After the accident, you go dark for 72 hours. No contact, no digital footprint, nothing. Then we bring you back as the weapon Kane doesn't see coming. One more thing, Aisha said. When you're inside, you'll be completely alone. We can't risk electronic surveillance. Kane's crew sweeps for bugs regularly. You'll have no wire, no tracker, no backup, unless you can find a way to signal us. If things go wrong, you extract yourself or you die. We won't be able to help you. Maya looked at each of them in turn. 3 SEAL operators asking her to become someone she'd fought 3 years to stop being. Asking her to weaponize trauma, to embrace anger, to step back into the darkness she'd barely escaped. I need to think about it, she said. You have 6 hours, Captain Hayes said. After that, Kane makes bail and the window closes. 6 hours to decide if you're really done being a SEAL or if you're willing to be one more time to stop weapons from killing innocent people. Maya stood, walked to the weapons rack, ran her fingers along a Barrett M107 sniper rifle. The metal was cold, familiar, perfectly weighted. She'd made a shot with this exact model in Syria. 247 yards wind, at 12 knots, hostage situation, 0 margin for error. She'd made the shot, saved 12 lives, and Katie had died 20 minutes later when their position was compromised. Tell me something, Maya said without turning around. If I do this, if I go inside, if I get you the evidence you need, what happens to Castellano if he's guilty? If he's stealing weapons to save his daughter? Captain Hayes was quiet for a long moment. He goes to prison. His daughter loses her father. The system that failed them continues failing them. And we all sleep a little worse knowing we put a desperate father behind bars for trying to save his child. But the weapons stop flowing. But the weapons stop flowing, Captain Hayes agreed. Welcome to the moral calculus of intelligence work, Maya. Sometimes there are no good choices, just less bad ones. Maya turned around. And if he's innocent? If he's being coerced? Then we protect him, relocate his family, give them new identities, and find the real traitor. But either way, we need to know the truth. And you're the only one who can get close enough to find it. 6 hours. Maya walked to the sleeping quarters, lay on a cot, stared at the ceiling. She thought about Katie, about the promises she'd made, about the life she'd built in Henderson. The shooting range was gone. Her apartment was ashes. Her cover was blown. The civilian existence she'd constructed had been demolished in less than 24 hours. Maybe it had always been an illusion. Maybe once you became an operator, you never really stopped being one. You just pretended until the mission found you again. At hour 4, Maya got up, walked back to the conference table, and opened the folder with her legend. She read every page, memorized every detail, absorbed the story of a woman destroyed by loss and abandoned by the system she'd served. At hour 5, she picked up the phone and called Captain Hayes. I'm in, Maya said, but I have conditions. Name them. When this is over, if Castellano is guilty, I want his daughter's treatment funded. Anonymous donation fully covered, best doctors available. His choices put weapons on the street, but she didn't choose any of this. She doesn't deserve to die because her father made a desperate mistake. Captain Hayes was silent for 10 seconds. That's not standard protocol. I don't care. That's my condition. His daughter gets treatment regardless of what happens to him. I'll make it happen. What else? If he's innocent, if he's being coerced, I want full immunity for him. Witness protection, relocation, everything. He walks away clean. And if Kane and his crew figure out you're not who you say you are, if they torture you for information before killing you, if this operation costs you your life. Maya's voice went flat, emotionless. Then you make sure they pay for it, every single one of them. You don't stop until the Iron Brotherhood is destroyed, and Los Serpientes knows what happens when they kill an American operator. You burn them to the ground, Captain. Promise me." "I promise," Captain Hayes said softly. "But Maya, try not to die. I've already lost too many good people. I don't want to lose you too. Then make sure your intel is solid." Maya hung up. At hour 6, Jake drove Maya to a remote section of desert highway. A car was waiting, same make and model as the one Maya had owned, now rigged with accelerants and a remote ignition system. The Jane Doe body was already positioned in the driver's seat, burned beyond recognition. "Last chance to back out," Jake said. Maya looked at the staged accident scene, at the fake version of her death waiting to be born. "How do you sell this to the media?" "Anonymous tip to a local reporter. Security camera footage from a gas station showing your car leaving town. Witness reports of erratic driving. Then this vehicle fire, single fatality dental records, too damaged to confirm identity but circumstantial evidence pointing to Maya Torres. Small-town tragedy. Gone in 48 hours from the news cycle. And Kane's crew, they'll hear about it through law enforcement channels. Sheriff Bridger will confirm your death, provide details that make it sound authentic. By tomorrow afternoon, the Iron Brotherhood will believe you're dead." Maya nodded slowly. "Do it." Jake triggered the remote ignition. The car exploded into flames, heat washing over them even from 50 yards away. Maya watched her civilian identity burn, watched the life she'd built turn to ash and smoke. 72 hours, Jake said. Then you come back as someone new. Not someone new, Maya corrected, eyes reflecting fire. Someone old. Someone I hoped I'd never have to be again. She turned and walked back to the SUV, leaving her death burning in the desert night. Behind her, flames reached toward stars that didn't care about promises broken or lives destroyed or the price of becoming a weapon when weapons were what the mission required. Maya Torres, the civilian, was dead. What came back in 72 hours would be something else entirely. 72 hours in isolation felt like 72 years. Maya spent the time in a windowless room at the safe house. No phone, no computer, no connection to the outside world. Just her, the legend folder, and the memories she couldn't escape no matter how hard she tried. On hour 68, Captain Hayes knocked on the door. "It's time," she said. "Kane made bail 4 hours ago. Sheriff Bridger confirmed your death to him personally. Kane threw a party at his clubhouse last night. Witnesses say he was celebrating, showing everyone photos of your burned car, talking about how weak little girls always get what they deserve." Maya stood from the cot where she'd been lying. "Good. That makes this easier. There's been a development." Captain Hayes handed her a tablet showing surveillance footage. This was taken 3 hours ago outside Creech Air Force Base. The video showed Master Sergeant Victor Castellano loading boxes into a civilian truck. His movements were quick, nervous, constantly checking over his shoulder. The timestamp read 03447 hours. "He's moving weapons," Maya said. "We think so, but we can't prove what's in those boxes without probable cause, and we don't have grounds for a warrant yet. He drove straight from Creech to the Iron Brotherhood clubhouse, stayed inside for 20 minutes, left without the boxes." "Then you have him. Arrest him now." "We need more than a delivery," Captain Hayes said. "We need communications, financial records, evidence of the full network. If we grab Castellano now, everyone else scatters and we lose the cartel connection. But if you can get inside, if you can document everything—" "I understand." Maya's voice was flat. "What's the insertion plan?" "Direct approach. You walk into the Iron Brotherhood clubhouse tonight at 9 p.m. You tell them who you are and what you want. They'll either believe you or kill you. No middle ground." "That's a terrible plan." "It's the only plan that makes sense. You show up nervous, careful, trying to be covert, they'll know something's wrong. You walk in bold, angry, damaged, demanding to see Kane, that's authentic. That's what a broken seal would do." Maya thought about it, running probabilities. Captain Hayes was right. Subtlety would get her killed. But aggression-controlled violence wrapped in desperation that might work. What about backup? Jake and Aisha will be 2 miles out monitoring police scanners and emergency frequencies. If you can get to a phone, if you can signal somehow, they'll extract you. But Maya, once you're inside, you're alone. Kane's crew sweeps for electronic devices. You'll have no wire, no tracker, nothing that could compromise you. Then how do I communicate what I find? Captain Hayes pulled out a small metal pin, maybe half an inch long. Swallow this before you go in. It's a passive RFID tag, medical-grade titanium, completely undetectable by standard sweeps. Every 12 hours, you find a reason to get within 50 feet of a specific location. We'll give you coordinates. The tag will transmit a short-range signal we can pick up with specialized equipment. 1 pulse means you're safe. 2 pulses means you've found evidence. 3 pulses means extract immediately. Maya took the pin, felt its weight. And if they find it, then you're dead, and we've lost our only operator inside the organization. Captain Hayes met her eyes. I won't lie to you. This is the most dangerous insertion I've ever authorized. The chances of you coming out alive are maybe 60%, maybe less. I've had worse odds. In Syria, you had a team. You had support. You had exit strategies. This time, you're completely exposed. Maya pocketed the RFID pin. Then I better not screw up. Thus 2 hours later, Jake drove her to within 3 blocks of the Iron Brotherhood clubhouse. Maya had changed into damaged clothing jeans with bloodstains, a torn jacket boots that looked like she'd been living rough. Her hair was unwashed, her face deliberately bruised with makeup that looked like real trauma. Last chance, Jake said. Stop saying that. I'm going in. Maya opened the door, then paused. Jake, if this goes wrong, if they kill me, make sure Captain Hayes keeps her promise about Castellano's daughter. Whatever happens to him, that little girl gets her treatment. You have my word. Jake's expression was grim. But try to stay alive anyway. Hayes will have my ass if I come back without you. Maya almost smiled. Then she stepped out into the Nevada night and walked toward the clubhouse. The Iron Brotherhood headquarters was a converted warehouse on the industrial edge of Henderson, surrounded by razor wire and security cameras. 4 motorcycles were parked outside. Loud music thumped from inside. Maya counted at least 8 men visible through the windows. She walked straight to the front door and kicked it hard enough to rattle the frame. The music cut off instantly. The door opened. Red Beard stood there, his shooting hand wrapped in heavy bandages, his eyes widening when he saw her face. What the fuck? He started. Maya punched him in the throat, dropped him gasping, and stepped over his body into the clubhouse. 12 men were inside, all of them frozen in shock. Razor sat at the head of a long table, his wrist in a cast, a beer in his other hand. For 3 seconds, nobody moved. Then Razor surged to his feet, chair crashing backward. You're dead. I watched your car burn. I saw the sheriff confirm it. Yeah, well, reports of my death were greatly exaggerated. Maya's voice came out harsh, damaged, exactly the way Captain Hayes said it should. Surprise, asshole. I'm harder to kill than you thought. 6 men reached for weapons. Maya didn't move, didn't flinch, just stood there radiating controlled violence. You pull those guns and I put you down before you clear leather. Just like I did with Red Beard. Just like I did with your entire crew when you came to my range. Razor held up his good hand, stopping his crew. He studied Maya with new eyes, seeing something different now. How did you survive? I didn't. Maya let the words hang there. The woman who owned that shooting range, who played nice with civilians who tried to build a normal life, she died in that fire you set. What walked away was someone else, someone you should have been more careful about making an enemy of. You're a SEAL. Razor said it like a curse. Was a SEAL. Past tense. They used me up and threw me away. Trained me to kill, sent me to Syria. Got my best friend killed, then kicked me out when I had the audacity to develop PTSD. Maya took a step forward, and 3 men flinched. You burned my apartment, Razor. You took the only thing I had left. So I staged my death. Let you think you won, and now I'm here to collect. Collect what? Payment, protection, a place where people who want me dead can't find me. Maya gestured around the room. You run weapons. I saw the hardware Redbeard pulled on me military-grade, not street trash. That means you have connections, resources, and probably federal attention you'd like to avoid. I can help with that. Razor laughed, but there was no humor in it. Why would I help you? You broke my wrist, shot my brother, got half my crew arrested. Because I can make you richer and keep you out of prison. I know how military investigations work. I know what evidence they look for, what trails they follow, what mistakes get people caught. You're moving stolen weapons from Creech Air Force Base, don't bother denying it. I saw the serial numbers on the HK-4 Sun 6s your crew carried. That's a federal death sentence if they catch you. But with my knowledge, you can move product without leaving signatures. I can teach you how to be ghosts. One of Razor's crew, a lean man with a scarred face, spoke up. She's lying, boss. This is a setup. She's working with the feds. Am I? Maya turned on him. Then where's my wire strip? Search me if you want. Check for tracking devices. Hell, scan me with whatever equipment you've got. You won't find anything because I'm not working for anyone except myself. The feds abandoned me, just like they abandoned every other soldier who came home broken. You think I'm loyal to them? They can rot. Why should we believe you? Razor moved closer, studying her face. Give me one reason I shouldn't put a bullet in you right now and dump your body for real this time. Because I know who your inside man is at Creech. Maya let that bomb drop and watched reactions ripple through the room. Master Sergeant Victor Castellano, inventory management, 20-year veteran with a daughter dying of leukemia. I saw him delivering boxes to this clubhouse 4 hours ago. I know his schedule, his access codes, his security clearances. And I know that if you kill me, you lose the only person who can tell you that Castellano is about to be compromised. The room went silent. Razor's eyes narrowed. How do you know about Castellano? Because I spent 3 years working with military logistics. I know how inventory tracking works. I know that Creech has been running integrity audits for the past 2 months. I know that auditors are scheduled to physically count weapons in Castellano's section in 72 hours. And I know that when they find discrepancies, they'll arrest him, flip him, and he'll give you up to save his daughter's life. You've got maybe 3 days before your entire operation collapses. Razor glanced at one of his crew, a man with gang tattoos covering his arms. The man nodded slightly, confirming the information. Razor turned back to Maya. You're either the smartest person in this room or the dumbest. I haven't decided which. I'm the only person in this room who can help you survive what's coming. The feds are tightening the net. They know weapons are leaking from Creech. They know you're the distribution network. They just don't have enough evidence to move yet. But they will. Soon. Unless you adapt. And what do you want in exchange for this help? 10% of everything you move. A place to crash where people can't find me. And when this is over, when the heat dies down, a new identity and enough money to disappear permanently. I'm done being Maya Torres. I'm done being a SEAL. I just want to be someone else, somewhere else, with enough cash to never worry again. Razor walked around her slowly, like a predator circling prey. Your damaged goods. Broken. Why would I trust someone who couldn't even hold their shit together after one bad deployment? Maya's hand shot out, grabbed his broken wrist, and squeezed. Razor screamed, dropped to his knees. Every man in the room drew weapons. But Maya didn't let go. Because broken is useful, she hissed. Broken means I don't care about rules anymore. Broken means I'll do things stable people won't. You want someone to plan operations without moral complications. You want someone to make difficult decisions. I'm your girl. Because the part of me that cared about right and wrong died with my best friend in a Syrian desert. What's left is just skill anger and a complete absence of fucks to give. She released his wrist. Razor gasped, cradling his arm, tears streaming down his face. His crew started to move, but he held up his good hand. Stand down, and he climbed to his feet, slowly, breathing hard. You've got balls, I'll give you that. But trust is earned, not demanded. You want in, you prove yourself first. Name the test. Castellano. You say he's about to be compromised. I need confirmation. I need to know if he's still solid or if he's already talking to federal agents. You get close to him, find out what he knows, report back. If your intel is good, we talk about partnership. If you're lying, I kill you slow. Maya nodded. How do I approach him? That's your problem. You're the tactical genius. Figure it out. Razor moved to the table, picked up his beer, with his good hand, drained it. You've got 48 hours. Get me actionable intelligence on Castellano's status or don't bother coming back. I'll need resources, a vehicle, clean phone, cash for bribes if necessary. You'll get a motorcycle and $500. That's it. Everything else you improvise. Consider it part of the test. Maya didn't argue. She'd worked with less in Syria. Where's the bike? One of the crew members, a younger guy with nervous energy, stepped forward. I'll show you. Outside, he led her to a black Harley-Davidson older model, but well-maintained. Keys are in it. Don't scratch it, that's my ride. What's your name? Danny. I'm new to the crew. Joined 3 weeks ago. He looked at her with something like admiration. Is it true what they say, that you were really a Navy SEAL? Does it matter? I guess not. It's just, we don't get many women around here. And the ones we do get aren't like you. Maya started the bike, felt the engine rumble to life. What are they like? Scared? Quiet? They do what they're told. Danny hesitated. You're different. You scared the shit out of Razor in there. Nobody does that. Maybe nobody else had a reason to. She rode off before he could ask more questions, the RFID pin heavy in her pocket. She had 48 hours to get close to Victor Castellano, determine if he was guilty or coerced, and report back without blowing her cover. Simple. Except nothing about this was simple. Maya drove to a cheap motel on the edge of town, paid cash for a room, and swallowed the RFID pin with a glass of water. Then she pulled out the burner phone the crew had given her and started researching. Victor Castellano had a routine. Every morning at 0600, he stopped at the same coffee shop near Creech Air Force Base. Every afternoon at 1800, he visited his daughter at the Children's Hospital. Every night at 2200, he returned home to an empty house. His wife had left him 6 months ago, couldn't handle the stress of their daughter's illness. A man with a routine was a man with vulnerabilities. At Oro 5:45, the next morning, Maya was already inside the coffee shop, sitting in the corner with a clear view of the entrance. She'd changed into civilian clothes, pulled her hair down, wore glasses she didn't need. Just another customer. Invisible. Castellano walked in at 0603 exactly on schedule. He looked worse in person than in his file photo, 20 pounds lighter dark circles under his eyes, hands shaking as he ordered black coffee and a breakfast sandwich he probably wouldn't eat. Maya watched him sit alone at a table staring at his phone, his whole body radiating exhaustion and despair. She gave him 5 minutes, then stood and walked past his table, deliberately stumbling and spilling her coffee on his jacket. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Maya grabbed napkins, started dabbing at the stain. I'm such a klutz, I can't believe. It's fine, Castellano said tiredly. Don't worry about it. No, it's not fine. Your jacket is ruined. Please let me pay for dry cleaning at least. Maya pulled out cash, and Castellano's eyes locked onto the bills with an intensity that confirmed everything Captain Hayes suspected. He was desperate for money. Really, it's okay. Are you sure I feel terrible? Maya sat down across from him without asking permission. At least let me buy you another coffee. It's the least I can do. Castellano hesitated, then nodded. All right. Thank you. Maya ordered 2 coffees returned to the table. I'm Sarah, she lied. I just moved to Henderson for work. Don't really know anyone yet. Victor, I work at the airbase. Oh, wow, military. That must be interesting. It used to be. Victor's expression crumbled slightly. Now it's just complicated. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pry. No, it's fine. I'm just tired. He looked at her with hollowed-out eyes. You ever feel like you're drowning and nobody can see it? Like you're screaming for help, but everyone just walks past? Maya felt a stab of recognition. That's exactly how she'd felt after Katie died. Yeah, she said softly. I know that feeling. My daughter is sick. Really sick. And the system, insurance, government, all of it, they don't care. They send forms, deny claims, tell me to wait while she's dying. Victor's hands clenched around his coffee cup. I served 20 years. I did everything right. And it doesn't matter. She's 8 years old, and they're letting her die because treatment costs too much. That's horrible. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't save her. Victor looked away. Nothing saves her. I've tried everything. Fundraisers, loans, begging. Nothing works. And now I've done things. He stopped abruptly, realizing he was talking to a stranger. I shouldn't be telling you this. It's okay. Sometimes it's easier to talk to someone you don't know. Victor studied her face. You seem familiar. Have we met before? Maya's pulse quickened. I don't think so. I just got to town. No, I've seen you somewhere. His eyes narrowed. Wait, aren't you the woman from the news? The one who died in the car accident? The shooting range owner? Every instinct screamed at Maya to run, but she held his gaze and made a split-second decision. I need you to keep your voice down, please. Victor's eyes went wide. You're supposed to be dead. I am dead, officially, and I need to stay that way. Maya leaned forward. Victor, I know you're in trouble. I know what you've been doing. I know about Razor and the weapons, and I know you're running out of time. The color drained from his face. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. You're stealing weapons from Creech to sell to the Iron Brotherhood. You're using the money to pay for Emma's treatment. And you're about to get caught. Victor started to stand. Maya grabbed his wrist. Sit down. I'm not here to turn you in. I'm here because we can help each other. Who are you? Someone who understands what it's like to watch the system fail the people you love. Someone who knows that sometimes good people do bad things for the right reasons. And someone who might be able to save your daughter and keep you out of prison. But only if you trust me. Victor sat back down slowly, his breathing ragged. What do you want? Information, complete honesty, and help stopping this before more people get hurt. Maya's voice dropped to barely a whisper. The Iron Brotherhood isn't just selling weapons locally. They're partnering with a Mexican cartel. Those rifles you're pulling from inventory, they're going to be used to kill innocent people, maybe children Emma's age. Tears started rolling down Victor's cheeks. I didn't know. I swear to God, I didn't know it was that big. They told me it was just local sales collectors and hunters. They lied. And now you're in too deep to walk away without consequences. Maya made her voice gentle. But there's another option. You cooperate with federal investigators. You provide evidence against the Iron Brotherhood and the cartel. In exchange, you get immunity witness protection, and I personally guarantee that Emma gets the treatment she needs. Full coverage, best doctors, everything. How can you guarantee that? Because I still have friends in the military, people who owe me favors, people who can make things happen. It wasn't entirely a lie. Captain Hayes had promised. But Victor, you have to decide right now. The auditors hit your inventory in 60 hours. If you're still trying to hide the discrepancies when they arrive, you go to prison. Emma loses her father and still doesn't get treatment. You both lose. Victor buried his face in his hands. His whole body shook with silent sobs. I wanted to save her. That's all. I just wanted to save my daughter. I know. And you can still save her, but not this way. Maya pulled out her burner phone. I can make a call right now, set up a meeting with people who can help. Or you can walk away, hope for a miracle, and watch everything collapse in 2 days. Your choice. Victor looked up, his face destroyed by grief and desperation. If I do this, if I cooperate, Emma really gets treatment, you swear. I swear on the memory of my best friend. Emma gets treatment, you get immunity, and the people using you to hurt others go to prison where they belong. He took a shuddering breath. What do I have to do? Maya almost smiled. Got him. First you tell me everything. Every weapon you moved, every conversation with Razor, every detail about the cartel connection. Second, you wear a wire for the next 48 hours and get recorded evidence of the Brotherhood's operations. Third, you testify when this goes to trial. Can you do that? Will they hurt my daughter if they find out? They won't find out. You'll be protected every second. I promise you, Victor, I won't let anything happen to Emma. He nodded slowly. Okay, I'll do it. Maya made the call to Captain Hayes, speaking in careful code. Within 30 minutes, Aisha arrived at the coffee shop dressed as a social worker. Within 2 hours, Victor was secured at the safe house, spilling everything he knew. The evidence was devastating: names, dates, locations, financial records he'd kept as insurance, enough to bring down the entire operation. Captain Hayes pulled Maya aside. You did good. Better than good. This is exactly what we needed. It doesn't feel good, Maya said quietly. He's a decent man who made impossible choices, and now his life is destroyed. His life was already destroyed the moment he stole that first weapon. You gave him a chance to salvage something, to save his daughter, and maybe live with himself. Captain Hayes' expression softened. That's more mercy than most people in his position get. What about my cover I was supposed to report back to Razor about Castellano's status? You will. You tell them Castellano is solid, not compromised, still moving product. You buy us another 48 hours to position assets and prepare for the takedown. Then we move simultaneously, arrest the Brotherhood, seize the weapons, and roll up the cartel connection. Razor won't believe me unless I have proof. Then give him proof. Aisha pulled Castellano's schedule for the next week. He's supposed to move another shipment tomorrow night. We'll stage it, make it look like business as usual. You observe, confirm to Razor that everything's running smooth, earn his complete trust. Then 48 hours later we end this. Maya nodded. And when it's over? When it's over, you disappear. New identity relocation, everything we promised. You get to be someone other than Maya Torres. Captain Hayes paused. Unless you want to come back, the teams could use someone with your skills. No. Maya's voice was firm. I'm done. This is the last time. We'll see, Captain Hayes said, and something in her tone made Maya wonder if she'd ever really be done at all. Maya returned to the Iron Brotherhood clubhouse 36 hours later, just before midnight. The staged weapons transfer had gone perfectly. Castellano moving boxes, under federal surveillance. Maya watching from a distance, documenting everything Razor needed to see. Now came the hard part. Selling the lie. Razor was waiting in the main room with 8 of his crew. He looked up when Maya walked in, his expression unreadable. Well, Castellano is solid. not compromised. I watched him move product last night, 0 federal presence, 0 surveillance. He's still yours. Maya pulled out her phone, showed him photos of Castellano loading boxes into a truck. He's scared? Yeah, but he's not talking. His daughter's treatment is working experimental drugs, showing progress. He needs money to keep it going. He'll keep stealing as long as Emma needs medicine. Razor studied the photos, then looked at Maya. How do I know you didn't fake these? Because if I was working with the feds, you'd already be in handcuffs. They don't send undercover operators into biker clubhouses and wait patiently for evidence. They kick down doors and arrest everyone. But you're still free, still moving product, still breathing. That's proof enough. One of the crew members, the scarred man from before, stepped forward. I still don't trust her boss. Something feels wrong. Everything feels wrong to you, Marcus, Razor said. That's why you've been stuck at the same rank for 3 years while Danny moves up. He turned back to Maya. You passed the test, barely, but I still need to know I can count on you when things get complicated. Define complicated. We have a shipment moving tomorrow night. Big one. 50 rifles, ammunition, body armor, going to our partners across the border. Los Serpientes is paying $2 million cash. Half up front, half on delivery. Razor's eyes narrowed. I need someone with tactical experience to plan the route, identify vulnerabilities, make sure we don't get hit by cops or rival gangs. That's you. Maya's mind raced. This was the major deal Captain Hayes needed to take down the entire operation. If she could get details, coordinates, timing, everything federal agents needed for a coordinated bust. But she had to play it right. $2 million is a lot of money. Los Serpientes must really want those weapons. They're preparing for a territorial war. Need hardware fast. We're their supplier. Razor leaned back. You help us move this shipment clean, you get your 10%, $200,000. Enough to disappear and start over wherever you want. 200,000. Enough to tempt anyone. Enough to make Maya wonder if Captain Hayes would still keep her promise about Emma's treatment if she walked away with that kind of money. I'll need to see the route, the vehicles, the security measures you're already planning. Can't fix vulnerabilities if I don't know what they are. Danny, show her the maps. Danny led Maya to a back room where a table was covered with detailed road maps, handwritten notes, photos of different vehicles. Maya studied everything, memorizing routes, timing personnel assignments. This was intelligence gold. We're using 3 trucks, Danny explained. Decoys and the real shipment. Leave at 0200, arrive at the border crossing by 600. Los Serpientes meets us on the other side, makes the exchange, everyone goes home rich. Who's driving? Me, Marcus, and Red Beard. Danny's voice dropped. Redbeard's still pissed about his hand. Says you owe him for that. He pulled a weapon on me. I defended myself. If he wants to hold a grudge, that's his problem. Yeah, well, just watch your back around him. Razor may have accepted you, but not everyone has. Maya filed that information away. Internal division was useful. What about law enforcement? You have anyone watching police frequencies? We've got a guy who monitors scanners, but honestly, we've done this run a dozen times. Cops don't patrol that route heavily. We've never had problems. That's because you've been lucky. Luck runs out. Maya pointed to a section of the map. This stretch here, it's isolated, no cell reception, perfect ambush point. If I was federal agents and I knew about this shipment, that's where I'd hit you. You need a scout vehicle running 30 minutes ahead, checking for roadblocks or surveillance. Danny nodded, impressed. That's smart. I'll tell Razor. One more thing. Who verified Los Serpientes' payment? You're trusting them to bring $2 million in cash. What if they decide to just take the weapons and kill you instead? Danny's face went pale. I don't think they'd... Of course they would. That's how cartels operate. Why pay when you can murder and steal? You need leverage. Something they want more than they want to avoid paying. Like what? Maya thought quickly. Information. Los Serpientes has rivals. Other cartels, federal agencies, informants in their organization. If you had intelligence, they needed names of undercover agents, locations of rival operations, something valuable they'd pay to keep you alive, and keep that information flowing. Danny looked nervous. We don't have that kind of intelligence. Then get it. Or make sure you have enough firepower at the exchange that betrayal costs them more than cooperation. Maya met his eyes. Danny, you seem like a decent kid. Why are you mixed up in this? I needed money. My mom's medical bills. He stopped. Everyone's got reasons, right? Yeah, everyone does. Maya felt sick. Another Victor Castellano. Another desperate person making terrible choices. How many were out there? How many people were trapped in this cycle? She returned to the main room where Razor was counting cash, separating it into piles. He looked up. Danny, show you everything. Enough to know you're vulnerable. I made suggestions. He'll brief you. Good. Then here's your advance. Razor slid a stack of bills across the table. 20,000. Down payment on your cut. The rest comes after successful delivery. Maya picked up the money, felt the weight of it. Blood money. Payment for helping criminals move weapons that would kill people. Her stomach turned, but she kept her expression neutral. When do I leave? Tomorrow night. 0200 hours. Be here at 0130. We'll brief the full crew load the trucks move out. Razor stood. Maya, I'm taking a chance on you. Don't make me regret it. I won't. She left the clubhouse with $20,000 and enough intelligence to destroy the entire operation. But she had a problem. The shipment was moving in less than 24 hours. Captain Hayes needed time to coordinate Federal Resources position agents plan the takedown. Maya had to get this information to her immediately. She rode the motorcycle to the designated signal location, a closed shopping center 2 miles away. Stood within 50 feet of the coordinates for 30 seconds, letting the RFID transmit. 2 pulses. Evidence acquired. 15 minutes later, her burner phone buzzed. Unknown number. Yeah, it's Hayes. We got your signal. What do you have? Maya relayed everything the route timing vehicles Los Serpientes meeting the $2 million exchange. She spoke fast, knowing every second on an unsecured line increased risk. This is it, Captain Hayes said. This is everything we need. I'll coordinate with DEA, FBI, Border Patrol. We'll hit them simultaneously, grab the weapons, arrest the Brotherhood, and catch Los Serpientes at the exchange point. Maya, you just gave us the biggest weapons trafficking bust in Nevada history. There's a complication. Danny, one of the crew, he's just a kid. Maybe 19. He's doing this for his mom's medical bills, and Redbeard is still holding a grudge about his hand. He might try something during the operation. We'll handle it. When the bust goes down, you get clear. Find cover, identify yourself as federal asset. Let the agents secure you. After that, you're done. New identity relocation, everything we promised. Maya was quiet for a moment. What about Emma Castellano's daughter? You said you'd cover her treatment. Already arranged. Anonymous donation to the hospital. $400,000. Covers everything: treatment, medication, follow-up care. Emma starts her next round of therapy this week. Something tight in Maya's chest loosened slightly. Thank you. Thank you. You did something most operators couldn't. You saved lives, Maya. Whatever else happens, remember that. The line went dead. Maya sat on the motorcycle in the empty parking lot, holding $20,000 in blood money, knowing that in 24 hours this would all be over. She'd be free. She'd disappear. She'd never have to be a weapon again. So why did it feel like she was losing something instead of gaining it? She returned to her motel room, locked the door, sat on the bed, counting the money. It was real. Federal Reserve notes, sequential serial numbers, probably freshly laundered. She could keep it. Walk away right now. Captain Hayes had the intelligence she needed. The bust would happen with or without Maya tomorrow night. But then she thought about Danny, about Victor Castellano, about all the desperate people making terrible choices because the system failed them. If she walked away, if she wasn't there during the bust, someone might get hurt. Someone who didn't deserve it. Her phone buzzed again. Different number. Maya's instincts screamed danger. Hello? Maya Torres. A man's voice, smooth, slight accent. Or should I say the woman who's supposed to be dead? Who is this? My name is Carlos Vega. I represent Los Serpientes, and I have information that concerns both of us. Maya's blood went cold. I don't know what you're talking about. Please, don't insult my intelligence. You're working with the Iron Brotherhood. You were a Navy SEAL. You staged your death and infiltrated Derek Kane's organization. These are facts. Carlos paused. What Kane doesn't know is that you're also working with federal agents, that you've been feeding information to Captain Sarah Hayes, that tomorrow's weapons shipment is actually a trap designed to destroy my business and his. You're mistaken. No, I'm very well informed. I have sources inside law enforcement, sources inside the military, sources everywhere that matters. Carlos's voice hardened. Tomorrow night when Kane's trucks arrive at the border, federal agents will be waiting. They will seize the weapons, arrest everyone present, and declare victory. Unless you and I reach an arrangement. What kind of arrangement? You warn me exactly where federal agents will position themselves. I adjust my plans accordingly. The exchange still happens, but in a different location at a different time. Kane gets arrested. I don't care about him. But my people escape. The weapons reach their destination, and you receive $500,000 instead of your promised $200,000. Maya's mind raced. This was a nightmare scenario. If Carlos knew about the federal operation, if he had sources inside law enforcement, everything Captain Hayes had planned could collapse. People could die, federal agents walking into an ambush, Brotherhood members caught in crossfire, innocent civilians. Why would you trust me? Maya asked carefully. If I'm working with feds, what stops me from telling them about this call? Because if you do, I kill Victor Castellano's daughter, Emma, 8 years old, currently at Henderson Children's Hospital room 347. I have people there right now. One phone call from me, and she dies. Painlessly, I promise. But dead nonetheless. Maya's hands clenched. You son of a... I'm a businessman, Maya. I protect my investments. Kane's organization has become a liability. You've become a variable I can't control. So I'm offering you a choice. Work with me, save the girl, get paid extremely well. Or work against me, watch an innocent child die and still lose because I'll adjust my plans anyway. Your cooperation just makes everything cleaner. How do I know you really have people at the hospital? Check your phone. I'm sending a photo. Maya's phone buzzed. She opened the message and felt her stomach drop. It was Emma sleeping in a hospital bed, clearly taken within the last hour. Someone was in her room right now. You sick bastard. I'm practical. Emma lives or dies based on your decision, and Maya, you have 3 hours to decide. After that, I assume you've chosen the girl's death and I proceed accordingly. Call this number when you're ready to discuss details. He hung up. Maya stared at her phone, rage and terror warring inside her. Carlos had just put an 8-year-old girl's life in her hands. If she told Captain Hayes, they'd try to secure Emma, but Carlos would know immediately. His people would kill her before protection arrived. If she cooperated with Carlos, she'd betray everything she believed in, and let weapons reach a cartel that would use them to murder innocent people. There had to be a third option. Maya called Captain Hayes on the burner. We have a problem. Carlos Vega just contacted me. And she explained everything, the threat, the photo, the 3-hour deadline. Captain Hayes was silent for a long moment. He has sources inside law enforcement. That means someone on our team is compromised. Someone leaked your identity and our operational plans." Captain Hayes' voice was tight with barely controlled fury. "Maya, I need you to do exactly what I say. Can you do that?" "Depends what you're asking." "I need you to agree to Carlos's terms. Tell him you'll cooperate. Get the new meeting location timing everything. Then I'll position assets to intercept without the compromised agent knowing. We hit both locations, the original exchange point and wherever Carlos moves it. We get everyone. And Emma, he has people at the hospital right now. I'm sending Jake there immediately. Plainclothes hospital security disguise. He'll neutralize the threat without Carlos knowing. But Maya, you have to sell this. You have to make Carlos believe you're betraying us. Can you do that?" Maya thought about Katie, about all the impossible choices she'd faced in Syria, about the promises she'd made and broken. "Yeah, I can do that." She called Carlos back. "I'm in, but I need proof Emma is safe first. I need your people to leave the hospital before I give you anything." "Proof of good faith." "I respect that." Carlos was quiet for a moment. "My people will exit the hospital in 30 minutes. You'll receive confirmation. Then you give me the federal positioning and new coordinates. Agreed?" "Agreed. But Carlos, if anything happens to that little girl, I will hunt you down and kill you myself. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care where you hide. I will find you." "Noted. 30 minutes." Maya hung up and immediately called Jake. "Did Hayes brief you? I'm pulling into the hospital now, room 347. Yeah, probably 2 hostiles, maybe more. They'll be dressed as visitors or staff. Carlos said they're leaving in 30 minutes, but don't trust that. Secure Emma now." "Copy that. Maya, are you okay?" "No, but I will be when this is over." She waited in her motel room, every second feeling like an hour. At minute 27, her phone buzzed. A text from Carlos. "My people are clear. Your turn." Maya called Captain Hayes. "He's asking for the federal positions. Give him the real ones from the original plan. I've already repositioned everyone. If he shows up at those coordinates expecting feds, he'll find empty desert. Then we close the trap at his new location." "What about the compromised agent, the leak inside your team?" "I'm handling it, trust me." Captain Hayes' voice went cold. "Whoever sold us out is going to prison for a very long time." Maya called Carlos and fed him detailed coordinates, timing agent positions from the original federal plan. She made her voice sound scared, desperate, like someone who'd been backed into an impossible corner. Carlos listened carefully, asked clarifying questions, seemed satisfied. "Very good. The exchange now happens 20 miles south of the original location at 0430 instead of Euro 600. I'll send exact coordinates to Kane's people. You'll ride with them. Keep up appearances until the exchange completes. After that, you disappear with your money and we never speak again. And Emma, already forgotten. I have no interest in dead children. Bad for business." Carlos paused. "Maya, you made the right choice. Sometimes survival means betraying principles. There's no shame in that." He hung up. Maya sat in the darkness, wondering if she'd just saved Emma or condemned dozens of other people to death. There were no good choices in this work, only less bad ones. At Euro 130, the next morning, Maya arrived at the Iron Brotherhood clubhouse. The crew was loading trucks, checking weapons, preparing for the run. Razor pulled her aside. "Change of plans. Los Serpientes moved the meeting location, worried about federal surveillance at the original spot. You okay with that? As long as I get paid, I don't care where we meet them." "Good. You're riding with me in the lead truck. I want tactical eyes watching our approach." Razor's expression was grim. "Something feels off about this whole thing. My gut is telling me we're missing something." Maya's heart rate spiked. "What do you mean?" "Can't explain it. Just a feeling. Like we're being watched. Like someone knows more than they should." He looked at her hard. "You sure Castellano is solid? You sure he's not talking?" "I watched him move product 2 nights ago. If he was compromised, he'd already be arrested and you'd be in handcuffs. You're still free. That's your proof." Razor nodded slowly. Maybe I'm paranoid. Comes with the territory. Paranoid keeps you alive. They loaded into 3 trucks, Razor and Maya in the lead, Marcus and Danny in the second, Redbeard and 2 others in the third. 50 military-grade rifles divided between the vehicle's ammunition body armor. $2 million worth of death. The convoy rolled out at 215 headlights, cutting through the Nevada darkness. Maya watched the road, her hand resting on the Sig Sauer concealed under her jacket. She was surrounded by armed criminals headed toward what might be an ambush, gambling that Captain Hayes had outmaneuvered both Carlos and the compromised federal agent. If this went wrong, a lot of people were about to die. They'd been driving for 90 minutes when Razor's phone rang. He answered, listened, and his expression went from concerned to enraged. "Stop the trucks, now!" He turned to Maya, weapon suddenly in his hand, and pointed at her head. "You lying bitch! You sold us out!" "What are you talking about?" "That was Carlos. Federal agents just raided the original meeting location. Empty desert just like you told him it would be. But Carlos is smart. He had people watching. And those agents, they weren't securing the area. They were setting up a perimeter around nothing. Like they knew the meeting moved. Like someone told them it moved." Razor's finger tightened on the trigger. "The only person who knew about both locations was you." "Razor, listen to me." "No, you listen. You're federal. You've been federal this whole time. Castellano flipped, didn't he? You got to him, turned him, made him give up everything. And now you're here to lead us into a trap." Maya's mind raced through options. Deny everything and Razor kills her. Admit the truth and Razor kills her. Fight back and the entire crew kills her. She needed a miracle. The miracle came in the form of Danny's voice from the second truck. "Boss, headlights, multiple vehicles approaching fast. Federal vehicles swarmed from every direction. Lights blazing, sirens wailing. Black SUVs, armored trucks. Helicopters overhead." Captain Hayes hadn't just planned one trap. She'd planned 5, covering every possible route and contingency. "Out of the trucks, now!" Razor grabbed Maya, held her as a human shield. "Everyone out, defensive positions." The Brotherhood crew spilled from vehicles, weapons raised, finding themselves surrounded by what looked like 50 federal agents in full tactical gear. Loudspeakers boomed commands. "Drop your weapons on the ground. This is the FBI. You are surrounded." Razor pressed his gun to Maya's temple. "I've got a federal agent. I'll kill her, if you come closer." Captain Hayes' voice came over the loudspeaker. "Derek Kane, release Maya Torres and surrender peacefully. You're outgunned and outnumbered. This ends one way or another. Make the smart choice." "Smart choice?" Razor laughed, the sound unhinged. "The smart choice was never trusting a woman. Should have killed you the day you walked into my clubhouse." "You should have," Maya agreed. Then she drove her elbow backward into his solar plexus, exactly like she'd done during their first encounter. Razor's grip loosened. Maya dropped, rolled, came up with her Sig Sauer drawn. "FBI, drop your weapon," and federal agents swarmed. Razor went down under 5 agents. The entire Brotherhood crew was on the ground in seconds, hands cuffed behind backs. It was over in less than 2 minutes. Captain Hayes approached Maya, concern clear on her face. "You hurt?" "No, I'm good." Maya holstered her weapon. "Did you get Carlos?" 30 minutes ago. Border Patrol intercepted him trying to cross into Mexico. He's in custody, singing like a canary about his entire operation." Captain Hayes smiled grimly. "And the compromised agent was Supervisory Agent Thomas Morrison, my own second in command. He's been feeding intelligence to Los Serpientes for 3 years." "How did you figure it out?" "Because when I repositioned assets, I gave different coordinates to different team members. Only Morrison got coordinates that matched what Carlos knew. He sealed his own fate." Captain Hayes put a hand on Maya's shoulder. You did good work. Dangerous, insane, nearly got you killed work, but good. Maya watched federal agents loading the Brotherhood crew into transport vehicles. Danny was crying, young and broken. Redbeard was screaming threats. Razor was silent, defeated, the fight gone from his eyes. What happens to them? Federal charges. Weapons trafficking, conspiracy, attempted murder of a federal agent. They'll spend decades in prison. All except Danny. He's cooperating and he's a minor. He'll likely get juvenile detention and probation. And Emma Castellano's daughter. Safe. Treatment fully funded. Jake secured her before Carlos's people could act. She doesn't even know she was in danger. Captain Hayes' expression softened. You saved a lot of lives tonight, Maya. The weapons we seized would have been used in cartel violence across 3 countries. Dozens, maybe hundreds of people are alive because you stopped this. Maya should have felt triumph. Victory. Instead, she just felt tired. When can I disappear? 48 hours. We'll set up your new identity, provide relocation funds, everything we promised. Captain Hayes hesitated. Or you could stay. Come back to the teams. We need operators like you. People who can make impossible decisions and carry impossible burdens. No. Maya's voice was firm. I'm done. This was the last time. I just want to be someone ordinary, somewhere ordinary where nobody tries to kill me. Fair enough. But Captain Hayes handed her an envelope. Your advance payment. $200,000 like Razor promised. Plus another $100,000 from us as hazard pay. Should be enough to start over wherever you want. Maya took the envelope, felt the weight of it. $300,000. Blood money purchased with lies, betrayal, and putting an 8-year-old girl's life at risk. It felt heavier than it should. She walked away from the arrest scene, away from the flashing lights and federal agents, away from the life she'd tried to escape and kept being dragged back into. Somewhere in the Nevada desert, the sun was starting to rise. A new day, a new chance to become someone who wasn't a weapon. But Maya Torres knew the truth. Once you become a weapon, you never really stop being one. You just wait for the next mission to find you. And yet, 48 hours later, Maya found herself sitting in a hospital cafeteria instead of on a plane to her new life. She'd told herself she just wanted to check on Emma, make sure the girl was really okay, make sure Victor Castellano's sacrifice hadn't been for nothing. But that was a lie. Maya knew why she was really here. Emma was in the pediatric wing room 347, the same room Carlos's people had photographed. Maya stood outside for 5 minutes, trying to find the courage to knock. What would she even say? Hi, I'm the person who put your father in witness protection and used you as leverage in a federal investigation. The door opened. A nurse came out, smiled at Maya. Are you family? No, just a friend of her father's. Well, Emma could use some cheering up. Victor had to leave suddenly for work. She's been asking about him. The nurse's expression was kind, but sad. She didn't know the truth. Nobody did except the people who'd orchestrated this entire operation. Maya knocked softly, pushed the door open. Emma was sitting up in bed, bald from chemotherapy, pale and thin, but her eyes were bright and alive. She looked at Maya with curiosity. Hi. I don't know you. My name is Maya. I worked with your dad. Is he okay? He left really fast, and he seemed scared. Emma's voice cracked. Did something bad happen? Maya sat in the chair beside the bed, choosing her words carefully. Your dad had to go away for a little while to help some people, but he wanted me to tell you that he loves you more than anything in the world, and that everything he did for you. Is he in trouble? No, sweetheart. He's safe. And you're going to be safe too. Your treatment is all paid for. The best doctors, the best medicine, everything you need to get better. Emma's eyes filled with tears. My dad did that. Yeah, he did that. Because you're his whole world. Emma wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. Are you a soldier? You seem like the soldiers I see on TV. Maya felt something break inside her chest. I used to be. Not anymore. Why not? Because soldiers have to make hard choices sometimes. Choices that hurt people. And I got tired of hurting. My dad makes hard choices too, Emma said quietly. I heard him crying one night. He thought I was asleep, but I wasn't. He was on the phone with someone saying he didn't know what else to do, that he was sorry, that he just wanted to save me. She looked at Maya with eyes too old for her age. Did my dad do something bad to save me? Maya's throat tightened. This child was 8 years old, and she already understood the moral complexity that most adults spent lifetimes avoiding. Your dad did what any parent would do. He protected his child. That's not bad. That's love. But he's gone now. Only for a while. And when he comes back, you'll be healthy and strong. You'll get to grow up, go to school, make friends, have a normal life. That's what he wanted. That's what he fought for. Emma reached out and took Maya's hand. Her grip was weak, but determined. Thank you for helping my dad. I don't know what you did, but I can tell you did something important. Thank you. Maya couldn't speak. She just nodded, squeezed Emma's hand gently, and stayed until the girl fell asleep. Then she walked out of the hospital into the late afternoon sun. $300,000 in a duffel bag, a new identity waiting, and absolutely no idea what to do next. Her phone rang. Captain Hayes. Maya, where are you? Your flight to Seattle leaves in 3 hours. New identity documents are ready. Everything's arranged. I know. So, why aren't you at the airport? I needed to see Emma. Make sure she was really okay. Captain Hayes was quiet for a moment. And is she? She's alive. She's fighting. She's braver than most operators I served with. Maya leaned against her rental car. Hayes, what happens to Victor? Where did you send him? Witness protection. New name, new location, new life. He'll testify against the Brotherhood and Los Serpientes in 6 months. After that, he disappears permanently. Emma will join him when her treatment is complete, probably another year. A year without her father. A year of being alone and scared and wondering if he's ever coming back. It's better than her being dead. Better than him being in prison. Sometimes the least bad option is the best we can do. Captain Hayes paused. Maya, you can't save everyone. You can't fix every broken thing. You did your job. You stopped weapons trafficking, dismantled a criminal organization, and saved lives. That's enough. That has to be enough. Does it because I'm standing here with blood money in a bag, knowing that Emma is alive, but Victor is gone, and Danny is in juvenile detention, and Razor will die in prison, and I helped make all of that happen? I'm not sure it feels like victory. Victory never feels the way you think it will. Not in this work. Captain Hayes' voice softened. Go to Seattle. Start your new life. Be the person you wanted to be before Syria, before Katie, before all of this. You've earned that. So have I. Yes. And Maya, thank you. For everything. For being brave when it mattered. For making impossible choices. For being the weapon we needed, even though you didn't want to be. Maya hung up. She got in her car, started the engine, and sat there for 10 minutes trying to decide. Airport or somewhere else. New identity or old. Escape or something different. Her phone buzzed again. Text message from an unknown number. She almost deleted it, then saw the first line and froze. Maya Torres. This is Sheriff Tom Bridger. I know you're alive. I know what really happened. We need to talk. She called the number immediately. Tom answered on the first ring. Tom, how did you— I'm not stupid, Maya. I've been a cop for 30 years. When a woman survives a car fire that supposedly killed her, then the Iron Brotherhood suddenly gets arrested in a massive federal operation, and a former Navy SEAL who I watched break a man's wrist in 3 seconds somehow disappears from every record I can connect dots. Tom, I can't talk about this. It's classified. I don't care about classified. I care about Henderson. About the shooting range you built. About the fact that you were trying to do something good here before everything went to hell. Tom's voice was tired, but sincere. Maya, the range is still standing. Insurance paid out for your apartment. The business license is still valid, and people in town are asking questions, asking if maybe you're not really dead, asking if maybe you're coming back. I can't come back. Too many people know what I am. Too dangerous. Dangerous for who Razor's in federal custody. His crew is scattered. Los Serpientes is dismantled. The threats are gone, Maya. You're free. Actually free. Maya closed her eyes, thinking about Desert Wind Tactical, about teaching people to protect themselves, about building something positive from the skills that had cost her so much. It's not that simple. It never is. But simple doesn't mean impossible. Tom paused. Look, I'm not going to pressure you, but I'm also not going to pretend I don't know you're alive. So if you decide to come home, the town will welcome you. People here respect what you did, both the parts they know about and the parts they'll never know. Just think about it. He hung up. Maya sat in the parking lot as the sun set, holding $300,000 and 2 futures. Seattle meant safety anonymity and a life built on running away. Henderson meant risk visibility and a life built on standing ground. She thought about Katie, about the promises she'd made 3 years ago, about becoming someone who taught instead of killed, about making weapons training about protection instead of destruction. She thought about Emma, about Victor, about all the people trapped between impossible choices and trying to find the least bad option. And she thought about herself, 23 years old former Navy SEAL sniper with a 200-yard confirmed kill woman who'd just taken down an international weapons trafficking ring while pretending to be dead. Maybe she didn't have to choose between being a weapon and being normal. Maybe there was a third option. Being a teacher who understood weapons. Being a protector who'd seen violence. Being someone who could help others avoid the mistakes she'd made. Maya started the car and drove. Not to the airport. Not to Seattle. She drove to Henderson, to the shooting range, to the place she'd built before Razor burned her life down. Desert Wind. Tactical looked exactly as she'd left it. The building was intact. The parking lot empty, the sign still hanging above the entrance. Maya unlocked the front door with keys she'd kept in her go-bag, stepped inside. Everything was dusty, abandoned, frozen in time. But it was still hers. Still salvageable. She pulled out her phone and called Captain Hayes one more time. I'm not going to Seattle. Maya, we had an agreement. New identity relocation, complete separation from your previous life. That's the protocol. I don't care about protocol. I care about finishing what I started. I built something here, Hayes. Something good. And I'm not letting criminals take that from me. I'm not running anymore. It's not safe. People know who you are, what you can do. Good. Let them know. Let every wannabe tough guy in Nevada know that Maya Torres is a Navy SEAL who took down the Iron Brotherhood single-handedly. Let them know that if they come to my range looking for trouble, they'll leave in handcuffs or body bags. I'm done hiding. Captain Hayes was silent for a long moment. You're making a mistake. Maybe. But it's my mistake to make. Maya walked through the range, running her hand along the shooting stations, remembering every person she'd taught, every lesson she'd given. I became a SEAL to protect people. Then I became a weapon. Then I tried to become normal. None of it worked. So maybe I need to be all three. Protector weapon and teacher. Someone who understands violence but chooses to use it only when necessary. Someone who can teach others to be strong without becoming what I became. That's a heavy burden, Maya. I've carried heavier. Maya stopped at the memorial wall she'd built photos of fallen service members, including one of Katie. Besides, someone needs to be here for the next Emma, the next Victor, the next person trapped between terrible choices, someone who understands what it costs to survive impossible situations. You're talking about building a support network, resources for people in crisis. Yeah, I've got $300,000. I can expand the range ed training programs for abuse, survivors, create scholarships for people who can't afford self-defense classes. I can turn this place into something that actually helps people instead of just teaching them to shoot. Captain Hayes laughed softly. You know what, screw protocol. Do it. Build your program. And Maya, if you need help, if you need resources or connections, or just someone who understands what you're trying to do, call me. The Navy takes care of its own, even the ones who are technically supposed to be dead. Thanks, Hayes. Don't thank me yet. You're about to find out how hard it is to run a non-profit and maintain operational security at the same time. But if anyone can do it, it's you. Maya hung up and stood in the empty range, watching dust particles float through the last rays of sunlight. She was 23 years old, legally dead, sitting on blood money, and planning to rebuild her life in the exact place where criminals had tried to destroy it. It was insane. It was dangerous. It was probably going to fail. But it was hers. 6 months later, Desert Wind Tactical reopened. Not as just a shooting range, but as the Stand Strong Initiative, a comprehensive self-defense and tactical training center with a focus on survivors of violence, people with PTSD, and anyone who needed to learn to protect themselves. Maya ran the program personally, teaching classes 6 days a week. Some students were women escaping abusive relationships. Some were veterans struggling with civilian life. Some were just people who'd been made to feel weak and wanted to feel strong. Emma came to the grand reopening, her hair growing back, her color returning. Victor was still in witness protection, but they spoke on secure lines every week. Emma told Maya she wanted to be a soldier someday. Help people the way Maya helped her. Danny was there too, released from juvenile detention with probation and community service. Maya had hired him as an assistant instructor, teaching him to channel his energy into something constructive. He was good with the younger students, patient and kind. Sheriff Tom Bridger became a regular visitor, sometimes helping with safety demonstrations, sometimes just drinking coffee and talking about the cost of doing what's right, even when it's hard. And one Tuesday afternoon, a young woman walked into the range. She was 19 with bruises she tried to hide and fear in her eyes. She approached Maya hesitantly. "Excuse me, I heard you teach people how to defend themselves, how to be strong when everything feels impossible." Maya looked at this girl and saw herself at 19, saw Emma at 8, saw every person who'd ever been made to feel weak or helpless or less than. "Yeah," Maya said gently. "That's exactly what I teach." "What's your name?" "Jennifer. And Her voice broke. "I need help. I need to learn how to not be scared anymore." Maya put a hand on her shoulder. "Then you came to the right place. We're going to teach you to be strong, Jennifer. Not just physically, mentally, emotionally. The kind of strong that means nobody can make you feel weak ever again." "Can you really teach that?" "I survived Navy SEAL training. I survived combat. I survived people trying to kill me and burn down my life. And I'm still here, still standing, still fighting for people like you. So yeah, I can teach that. The question is whether you're ready to learn." Jennifer straightened her shoulders and Maya saw the first flicker of determination in her eyes. "I'm ready." "Good. Then let's begin." Maya walked Jennifer to the range, passing the wall where Katie's photo hung alongside dozens of others. The fallen, the fighters, the people who'd given everything so others could be free. Maya Torres had been a lot of things. A SEAL, a sniper, a weapon, a survivor. Someone who'd broken and healed and broken again. But now she was something else. A teacher. A protector. Someone who turned pain into purpose and trauma into strength. She'd been told she was weak. She'd been attacked, burned out, hunted, and nearly destroyed. And she'd proved every single person wrong who'd ever doubted her. Because strength wasn't about being unbreakable. Strength was about breaking healing and choosing to stand back up, not just for yourself, but for every person who couldn't stand yet. That was Maya's truth. That was her mission. That was why she'd stopped running and started building something that mattered, and anyone who thought she was weak. They were welcome to test that theory. She'd be waiting ready and absolutely unafraid.